Hello, y'all. Good morning from Dallas, Texas. Hold on, because I know this thing gonna try to play it. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. Good morning. Good morning from Dallas. Guys, I am so excited for today. It is Friday. You guys already know it's Guest Speaker Friday. That means we got somebody special talking today. But first, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Monique. I go by Killer Curls on all social media platforms. This platform right here is called Queenspiration. Something that I use to help you guys through life, right? To help myself through life, to pour into you guys, to inspire you, to just let you know that you can do it, right? And the reason I say that part is because the person that we have talking today, before she got on Queenspiration, before I met her, which I met her through the business, right? God, well, I'm not even going to say I met her through the business. I met her through God. God put her in my path. We are not on the same team. I don't even know who her upline is, y'all. I don't even know. She's in a whole nother state, right? But that's beside the point. The point is that God put her in my life, and God put this platform in my life for me to do things just like we're going to do today. Cherie, my girl, she is going to talk. She's going to spit fire, guys. Before this, she used to tell me, oh, I can't never talk on no call. I can't go live. All the things, y'all. She's been going live every day. I see her all the time. And now this is her second time speaking on Queenspiration. So I'm super excited for this sauce, because if y'all heard her before, y'all already know she comes with the sauce. So with that being said, my girl Cherie is going to give us some fire. So drop some fire emojis in the chat. Ooh, sorry, if you're ready to hear from Miss Cherie. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my fire. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm so excited. Go ahead, babe. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing introduction. Also, thank you, Angie. I appreciate you. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm even more nervous than the last time. I don't know why, but just please bear with me. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to speak about today, but I knew I wanted to speak. I challenged myself, like, if nobody's volunteering for guest speaker, I'm going to do it so I can, step out of my comfort zone and, just share more of what I've been learning and, what I've been going through. So last night, like, as you can see, my hair is not even fully done. I've never braided my hair before. That just shows you, like, you never know until you try it. Don't doubt yourself at all. And that's what I want to talk about is wrestling doubt. I was doing my hair last night, and a lot of times I can either ask God, like, okay, I want a message today, or I could be thinking it, but not say it out loud, and I'll pop on YouTube, and my girl, Sarah Jakes Roberts, be right there. So listening to her topic on wrestling doubt, I'm like, this is what I need to talk about, because this is what I'm battling myself. And like literally when she speaks, it resonates with my whole entire being. Like I'd be tearing up just listening to her. And I felt like there's something that some of us needed to hear. So please bear with me too, because I was actually doing my hair and like speaking the words in my notes to like write it down. And I didn't get the chance to rewrite my notes. I'm like, kind of like, that's why I'm even more nervous, because I've been doing my hair since like 6 a.m. So I'm like, I'm still going to deliver this message. Okay. So wrestling doubt. Now, the meaning of doubt is feeling uncertainty or lack of conviction. Okay, so feeling of uncertainty or lack of conviction, sorry. So what is conviction? Conviction is like belief. Okay, so the lack of belief in yourself. Okay, so basically example, like if you feel uncertain about starting a business, right? So if you feel like you're uncertain about starting a business or not, there's doubt whether or not you can succeed as a business owner. That's like you're doubting yourself right then and there. Or like if you're uncertain if you need to apologize to someone because you're not sure how they're going to look at you after you do it. That's like, you're uncertain about doing it. So that brings the doubt, and you're unsure of yourself or unsure of what people might, see you as. Sorry guys, please bear with me because I am like going from my like notes and I didn't get to organize this. Uncertain about talking about. Oh, okay, so I put in here like my example of me being uncertain. I have doubt about talking about my imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? That's like the doubt, uncertain, like, okay, how people are going to perceive me kind of thing, So when there's doubt, there's always uncertainty of ourselves and lack of belief in ourselves. So a lot of what she was speaking on was coming from Exodus 4, and she was speaking of like, Moses and things like that, because, God stepped to him and was like, I need you to go here and do this. But he had lack of faith in himself or belief, like, okay, what if they don't believe me type of a vibe. So this is where she was deriving her word from. Okay, so in space of doubt for, okay, so what she was also explaining was sometimes we come in a space of doubt for so long that it becomes comfortable. You know what I mean? We're just so used to doubting ourselves, we don't move. So where are the areas in our life that needs an increase of faith? That's something we can try to ask ourselves, like to, reflect, to help you, narrow down that doubt or where it is. Because sometimes we don't see it, or sometimes we're trying to be so positive that we're suppressing it. Because I know that's what I do. I'm like, thoughts become things, like, I'm okay, I'm doing this, but I'm not always okay. And it's okay to not be okay, like Monique was telling us just yesterday. And also ask yourself, like, what area in my life is this word watering? Like, so when you hear Monique speak, or you hear someone else speak, or you get value, like, ask yourself, you can, I don't know what everyone's faith is. I'm a spiritual person. You can place that with universe, or whatever your faith is not here to make you believe what I believe, but I know spiritual success is a thing, and you can't have sustainable success without it. And also, what I want to say about spiritual success, it's going to come to me. Well, I'm gonna keep going, but ask God, like, what is this word? What am I getting out of this word? What seed is it watering? Because I want to be able to witness when it starts to sprout. I want to witness when it starts to turn to fruit. And please bear with me if this sounds like all over the place, because I did not get to rewrite this, because I'm trying to understand this myself. But it was a very powerful message. It was called Wrestling Doubt, and you can look it up on YouTube, by Sarah Jakes Roberts. But doubt is basically a subtle introduction, like creates a subtle introduction to our lives. So the enemy will use doubt in a subtle way. It will never be outright and blatant, okay? So the enemy could be anything. It could be your own thoughts, your like negative thinking, all those things. It will relocate you from a place of conviction, which is belief, to a place of uncertainty. So lack of conviction, which lack of belief, will have you end up floating through life, letting life just happen to you, when we're supposed to be, taking charge, having dominion, and basically subduing this earth, like making it better, helping each other out. But we're so stuck in doubt, we're not even doing anything. We're just letting life happen to us and be like, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me. Like, life doesn't just happen to, like, doesn't just happen to you. You have the choice to get up and to change it. It might take time, but it's possible. So doubts can be very dangerous, guys. It's not something we should take lightly. Get used to, it's not something that we should take lightly, get used to, or get comfortable with. Doubt is like a threat to our destinies. Okay? If you open up to doubt, you fall for anything. Because if you're always in this constant state of doubt, like, anything is gonna, like, get you down, anything is gonna crash or consume you. Okay? So it's important to recognize that doubt, and we got to kick it to the curb. All right. So you will be open to anything, start questioning. Okay. You'll be open to anything, and you'll start questioning yourself. And you'll start questioning what God has planned for you, the universe, or whoever. You'll start questioning that you're worthy of that dream that you want. You start questioning it. Like, you'll start off in faith and then end up in doubt. And you start questioning if you're deserving. The fact that you even deserve it need to be. Sorry, guys, trying to read my notes. Be greater than you. Okay, so what my notes is basically saying is like somebody doesn't have to bribe you. The evil one doesn't have to bribe you or lure you with anything to dang you that will make you feel like you'll be greater than you are right now, because doubt is just enough to consume you and get you down that spiral and knock you down. Like, doubt is really something that can really creep up and stay in and really just sabotage what you're trying to do for yourself. So doubt can turn you into a double-minded man and unstable in all your ways. So doubt can turn you into a double-minded man and unstable in all your ways. So for example, I know that I should I know that I should, but I also don't believe I can. I believe that I can, but I don't know how. That's like double-minded, if you get what I'm saying. It's like, you know, you want to do something, but then you don't think you could do it. Like, that's like, either you want to do it, go for it. No, like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. That was just my little example in there. So doubt can be used as a weapon against our destinies. Doubt is trying to change the way we show up in this earth, in this world, in our business, in our industry, for our families. That will try to make you change the way you see yourself, the way you see God or your faith, like whatever your faith is. You know, doubt will change that. It'll have you start questioning that. Doubt is trying to make you no longer live with conviction, because when you live with conviction, you are a weapon in itself. Okay, guys, when you live with that belief in yourself and where you're going and what God has planned for you, the universe or whoever, that's a weapon in itself, because you're not going to be knocked down so easily. You know what I mean? When you live with conviction, anything you do literally has God's DNA on it. Literally. Conviction will change you. That belief will have you looking in the mirror differently, not even recognizing yourself anymore, because your identity has changed. You're stepping into that new 2.0, 3.0 new next level of yourself, and you're that old person. You're like, wait, I'm starting to see myself differently because I'm showing up differently in the world. You know what I mean? Conviction will change what you thought was possible, because that belief is there. Now you believe anything is possible, because anything is possible as long as you believe in it and put your mind to it. Conviction will have you believing and thinking it doesn't matter what you've gone through or where you come from. God is still there pushing you towards that vision. He's still there along the way. Even when you're like, when you feel like you're at your lowest, he's always there. It's up to you to recognize that and appreciate that, embrace what he's trying to give you and show you. Sorry. All right, instead of resisting, it'll help keep you moving towards, okay, yeah. So instead of letting doubt, like, instead of resisting, keep moving forward and letting doubt stop you, we have to keep going. It's important to keep moving towards that direction of our destiny, because nothing is going to change without conviction. You can't change anything without that strong belief to your core. Nothing is transformed without conviction. You can't get the things and be that person you want to be without that conviction, because only conviction can transform you. Okay, sorry, I'm like trying to slow down my breathing. I don't know why I'm shaking, guys. Like, I don't know. So conviction will cut through the noise and elevate your perspective. Conviction will cut all that noise, drown that noise out, and elevate your perspective and open up your mind to see more of the opportunity. Thank you, Angie. Oh, you guys should have heard my pep talk before like I got onto this call. Okay. It also helps you navigate through tough moments. So it's going to help you navigate through tough moments, because you know in your heart what's yours. You know in your heart the destiny that's set out for you. So that's going to help keep you going, as long as you remember that. It can make survival a necessity, not a luxury. Conviction can make it can make okay, hold on, I'm saying this so weird. It can make it survival instead of a necessity. Am I saying this right? Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm keep repeating it over and over. Now it's sounding more weird in my head. All right. I have to survive to overcome. Because, okay, so this is like my little example. I'm like reading it like, okay. So basically, as an example, like, I have to survive to overcome this because someone is counting on me. Somebody is connected to my destiny. Somebody is connected to my story. So if I don't survive this, how will they know they can survive too? How will they know what's possible, you know? So that's what conviction will have you thinking, like, too, as well. Like, it'll help keep you going, because it's like, you know, there's more than just you connected to what you're doing. There's always someone counting on you, looking up to you, to feel like they can do it too. This is why you have to also be careful who you are connected to. This is a big topic that we always talk about. Have to be important who you're connected to, because when you're trying to protect your conviction and that belief you have, that mindset you have, knowing what's yours and what you're doing, you can't expose yourself to other people's doubts, because doubts are contagious, guys. You know, it really is. It will have you feeling from you're in conviction to you feeling weak. That's why you gotta, can't share your convictions with everybody, and you also can't be around everybody else's doubt because it's gonna latch onto you too. And then you're gonna start doubting yourself when you was all confident just 2 seconds ago. You know what I mean? So their doubt can become your disease, and now y'all both sitting still stagnant. Their doubt can become your disease, and y'all both end up sitting stagnant, okay? Don't sit in those doubts. It's okay to, be there for your friends and let them feel what they feel, but you got to separate yourself sometime and not take on too much energy, because everything is energy, and energy can be easily transformed. So we always got to make sure we're protecting that. Just like doubt was contagious. And I was saying, okay, doubt is contagious, okay? And just like doubt is contagious, conviction can also be contagious. So you see people pumping iron in the gym. You ever see that? Like, oh, shoot, you could do that. I could do that too. Let me get that next round in, you know what I mean? Or you're surrounded by amazing, empowering people like in this community, and it makes you excited, empowered, and want to start crushing your goals too. You see people reaching their ranks or hitting whatever goal they are, or just being their best version of themselves and glowing. And you're like, you get excited, and that energy transforms to you, and you get empowered to do what you want to do. And it pushes you to level up too as well when you're around other people's conviction. I said that. So there are people that will come and see your life, and that will make you want to take conviction to the, okay. Oh, so I was saying there are people that will come into your life that will want to make you take your conviction to the next level, that 3.0, that 4.0, that higher version of yourself. So it's very important to seek those people out, like the right people, the right energy, because it's gonna help you elevate. Oh, we appreciate you, Monique. Okay, there is something powerful about being connected to the contagious nature of conviction. Okay, so you have to know and be aware. Okay, this is probably one of my typos from the speak to text. You have to become aware when it has become your. Oh, okay. So you have to be aware of where in your life that doubt has a home. You have to be aware of that. Like I was saying, write it down. Think about it. Ask yourself. We always talk about writing things down, writing down our feelings when things come up. That's something that I can do better at. Because I journal a lot, but I don't write down my feelings, because I don't know, I just think too much in the whole pen to paper, and words become things. But at the end of the day, you have to grow through things to go through things. And it takes you writing things down so you can get a visual mental picture of what's going on with you and how you can correctly move forward and not be triggered by whatever it was, find the root cause. Mm-mm. Okay. So yeah, so I was saying it'll help you get that mental picture so you can see how you can move forward in baby steps every single day. So to lead yourself to a better life and leave doubt in the dust as it arises. Ask yourself what areas of doubt has a home. Think about it. Take time to think about that with yourself. What areas do I have doubt? Where is it? What starts in faith sometimes ends in doubt. And that's what I kind of mentioned a little bit in the beginning. Sometimes we start in faith and we end in doubt. A lot of people start this business or whatever business, and they're so excited. Oh, I got my first client, blah, blah, blah. Months goes by, days go by, and maybe it's not the same momentum. You're not seeing the same people, wanting to join with you in your whatever you're doing. And then that's when doubts begin to seep in. That's when you start is this meant for me? Should I be doing this? You know what I mean? But you were here for a reason. You started that for a reason. So don't go start doubting yourself. But even the greatest people can start something in faith and start to question themselves as the journey unfolds. Sometimes we tend to lose sight of faith. For some, it's not the same. Okay, sometimes we lose sight of faith. It's like I was saying, and for some people they keep the faith but have those doubts. But sometimes some people's faith it don't even sustain through their whole journey. That's when they give up. Okay, and that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to give up, right? It's okay to admit that sometimes our faith needs a refill. It's okay to admit that. You know, I mean, I'm very strong in faith, but I know I can say I do doubt myself sometimes. Like I had to like tell myself, I'm gonna just start volunteering and just doing it so I can like, but like I didn't even put lashes on because I knew I was gonna start tearing up, guys, because it's something that like I really like. I don't know. I'm gonna just stay on topic because I'm gonna start tearing up. But it's okay to admit that sometimes our faith need a refill. Okay, because we all been there. I know that I'm meant to be here in this business. I'm sure everybody else feels that way about what they're doing or whatever industry you're in. I'm not sure who's on the call. I didn't really look at the list, but I know God placed me here for a reason. I know God is all up and down this business of Monet. Like I can feel it, I can see it. And that was confirmation and affirmation for me that I'm supposed to be here and that he placed me here to do what he wants me to do in my own way in this industry. Like my nations, it was just like, I think that's why the energy was so crazy. Every speaker, they had mentioned God or faith. And it's just so amazing to be in a room of so many people who feel the same way and working towards the same thing. It's just like, it's priceless. And it makes me so emotional just thinking about it. Okay. So yeah, so you can always feel like I meant to be here, but you're still doubting yourself at the end. I was meant to be a leader and impact so many people, but now I'm doubting myself. That's me. Like I know I'm supposed to use my voice. I know I'm supposed to. That's my gift. I don't really have specific gifts like hair or whatever. Like this is like something I just did. Like this is a perfect example of not doubting yourself and telling yourself you can't do something, because I always tell people like I don't braid, I can't braid. And I was like, I want to try to do the knotless braid. And it doesn't, like the parts ain't that good, but it's not bad for my first time doing knotless braids of myself. So like don't stop yourself from doing something because you never know how good you can be at it. And like me speaking on this call is like, you know, I was doubting myself doing things like this. And Monique, thank God for her. She's inspiring me to like really do that. And sometimes God sends people in your life to help you along that journey, to show you love, to show you like, to show you confirmation that you're on the right path. And, you know, I appreciate you so much in this Queenspiration platform because I probably wouldn't have started doing this. I mean, I did it little by little on team calls, but like this is something like I talk way more now. So I'm appreciative of that. Sorry, got off topic. Okay, so once we begin to realize if we don't show up in the fullness of who we truly are, doubt can creep in and hijack our voice, hijack our message, hijack our movement, hijack our whole destiny, okay? So once we begin to realize we have to show up in the fullness of who we are, or doubt will always creep in and hijack our voice, our message, our movements, and our whole destiny. Okay. It's not uncommon to start in faith and end in doubt. Like I mentioned, there's like so many famous, substantial people, powerful and powerful people who started in faith and then doubt, and even have imposter syndrome. Like I was on a call the other day and they were talking about like, you know, Maya Angelou and Albert Einstein. They are people that self-doubted themselves, even with all the awards that they have. You know what I mean? So it's totally normal, but it's important to be aware and try to like, you know, cancel that out. All right. But I was saying like, it's your decision to get back up. We all have the choice to decide if it will be the end or not. Don't let doubt have the final say. You get to choose whether or not you're going to press forward and clear your mind, and let your mind clear. And those of you who, you know, are spiritual, let the Holy Spirit flow through you in a fresh new way where you can move differently. Where you can impact people and touch people differently. Because at the end of the day, like I love what Sarah Jakes, before she says a message, she always says like, let it be all of you and none of me, because I know if it's just me, I'm not going to be able to reach and touch and impact all those people. So that's like an affirmation I try to say to myself too, because I don't want to talk just to talk. I want to talk to touch hearts. Like I want to be able to help people change their lives as well as my own, because we're all doing this together. We're all growing and learning together. And it's so important that we really lock arms and press forward and help each other out, because we're all is one mind in a way. We're all connected, whether we want to believe it or not. Okay. So doubt can be used as a trick of the enemy, trying to make you believe that you are not who God has called you to be, that you're not deserving of what's yours. That was a joke before. Okay, it's a trick to make you feel inadequate. To be who have you been? It's a trick to make you feel inadequate of who you are created to be and what you are working towards. Even though this goes far beyond anything that we normally hear, but there are moments where we should put doubt on ourselves, because if we don't, we will sleep on ourselves. We will talk ourselves out of our own destiny and even try to convince ourselves we don't even belong or fit in where we are, or we're not even meant to be here. Have you ever been in a room where you felt like you underqualified or you weren't meant to be there, but you were there for a reason? Okay, you were there for a reason, whether it's to learn the room so you can like start leading the room, and you have to think about stuff like that instead of, instead of like, you got to think of the positive of why you're where you are instead of putting yourself down, thinking you're not supposed to be there. Okay. When you start to believe what he has planned for you, that's the name scene. Okay, this is definitely a typo. I'm sorry. Oh, this is like me talking in my own words. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is like, okay, so when you put your faith and your trust in God or whatever you believe in, okay, I try to say that because I want people to feel like I'm trying to make you believe anything that I believe. Like, I'm not that type of person to try to do that, but this is just, coming from me. But when you put your faith in God, universe, higher power, you'll start to truly believe what he or it has planned for you. And that seat really does have your name on it. You deserve a seat at that table. So trust and believe that there is a seat already with your name on it. You just have to keep your mind strong and keep pressing forward. And it's already yours. You just have to keep going. And sooner or later, you're going to stumble upon it. Like, I truly believe that for each and every one of us. Because I always, like, ever since I heard that, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know I got to sit at a table. I got to sit at the table amongst great men and women. Like, I'm respected by great men and women. Like, I'm speaking in rooms of great men and women. That's how we have to start thinking about ourselves and showing up in that confidence that we know who we are and where we're going and what's called on our life. Okay. We're just going to keep moving forward. You just got to keep moving forward and just watch how you'll end up standing in a room where you can't even imagine, just because of God's faith, the trust you had in him, of the picture of who you are and who you were led to be, even when doubt was trying to keep you captive. Like, when you don't let it keep you captive and you just keep pressing forward, you're going to end up somewhere. You're going to look up and be like, dang, oh my gosh. Like, it will be something you didn't even expect. But that's a reward of trust and faith. Real faith is like acting and believing on something you cannot see. Talk about that. Okay, so I talked about that already. Spiritual success. Okay, so doubt can also be so expensive that instead of leading into doubt, we choose to live in such a way where that doubt doesn't scare us anymore. So what I mean by that is, like, we will run and flee from what we're supposed to be doing. We will relocate from that place that we were placed or called to be, just because we're trying to flee from that doubt. But little do we know, I think Mo was talking about this before, when you're trying to run from something, you're going to keep experiencing until you go through it. Isn't just because you go from Connecticut to Texas, that doubt ain't going to leave you. That situation ain't going to like drop off. You might experience that same situation in a different person or a situation, but it's still going to be there until you go through it and grow through it. Like, that's like, I feel like that's like the theme of like everything. You got to go through it to go through it. So what we got to do is start facing doubt head on and stand up to it. We have to go through those necessary steps to like overcome it by recognizing it. Sometimes God may seem to place us, or the universe, or may seem to place us in environments or circumstances that make us question who we are. But the goal is not to question who we are, but to receive what he says we are. But the problem is that we can't survive the question of who we are. That's when we flee again. So sometimes we get put in a place and we're like, oh my gosh, like, why am I called here? Why am I in this job? Why am I in this relationship? Or whatever the case may be. But the real question should be like, what am I supposed to be learning out of this? You know what I mean? What am I supposed to be growing from this to be who I called to be? Because you just removed yourself from the very place that was meant to transform you. Okay. Like that's the place that's meant to grow you and you're running from it. You know what I mean? Like even when it could be an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, a job that don't respect you, whatever the case may be, like ask God, what is my lesson in this? What am I supposed to learn in this? What am I supposed to be getting out of this? You know, there must be something that I need to be learning. You know, when something comes up, things don't just happen to us. You know what I mean? If you was to stick it out, if you would have stayed in position long enough instead of leaving, you would realize that that doubt was the very wound that would be used to transform you later on or down the road to bring about that strong faith and conviction you never experienced before. So if we learn to stay in position where we're supposed to be, where we're called to be, instead of fleeing, we can realize that that doubt was a very wound that's placed there to transform us and bring about a faith that we never even experienced before. Sometimes we have to wrestle with doubt all the way down to the ground until faith comes up. Okay? Like, don't let that doubt win. You're deserving and worthy of being here. We all have purpose. Like, you're supposed to be here. Don't let it consume you and just stop you. Okay. Because if we fully leave from a place. Okay, so if we fully leave from the place that's meant to transform us, so if we decide to flee, and that place that's supposed to grow us, eventually we're gonna have to go back to that very place we ran away from. You're gonna have to come back. It's gonna find you, or you're gonna have to go back to it to keep pressing on. We're gonna have to keep experiencing it until we actually go through it, grow through it, and move through it, and knowing that he's with us this whole time. You know, he's always gonna be there. You just have to realize that. Until we wrestle with doubt, the new you will never be able to be released. That power down inside you cannot be transformed. It won't come out if you don't, until you wrestle with that doubt that's in front of you. If you pull yourself away from where he's supposed to be. Okay, I'm not sure what I meant by that, what I wrote, so I'm not going to even say it. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. I know we have times that we don't feel qualified or we don't feel like we're ready to do something, but even when we're not ready, we still got to do it. Whether we're scared or not, we still got to do it, you know, because if we don't do it, it's gonna keep passing. We're not doing it. And we didn't move. We didn't grow. We didn't do anything. So even if you don't feel qualified, just even with this business, some people, I've never done a lot of these things that I'm doing now in this business, but I didn't feel qualified, but I still did it. You know, I'm doing this call. I'm scared as SHIT, but I'm still doing it. You know what I mean? So we just got to do it, because if we don't face that doubt, we're never going to grow, and that power is never going to be unleashed. How do we expect to impact people and touch people when we haven't even unlocked the power down inside of us in our own self, or even realized it in ourselves to help somebody else realize it and unlock it and unlock it. So when we start to think we're unqualified and all those things, that's just doubt talking. Shut that voice up. Block that noise out. Fight through it. You're powerful. You're so powerful. You have the ability to do that. You know, sometimes we like doubt our own selves, and like we're always having those negative things. That all that doubt, man, we can block it out. We can drown that noise out. It's possible. You know, I'm working on it every day. I was one of those people that had the worst negative mind ever. Like, I was so positive for everybody else, but for me, it's like, no, you're not qualified to do this. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. You're not skilled enough to do that. Like, why are you even trying? And I didn't try. Monet was the first time I really tried to put myself out there. And it took me till 30 years old to really see myself and put myself out there. I don't want people to wait that long to see who they are, to see their gift. Like, that's one passion for me with this business and my growth journey, is to show people who you are, the gift you have down inside of you, and you don't need validation from anybody else outside of you. You have to recognize your beauty, your gift down inside of you, because God made you perfect in your own way. And it took me a long time to see that. Literally, like I couldn't even tell myself I loved myself. Like that's how bad it was. Like I look in the mirror, I couldn't even say. I just start crying. Like that's crazy, guys. I don't want any other girl to have to go through that. No one should have to go through that. And not a whole like if I can help you cut that time in half, I'm gonna do it. And it starts by sharing our story, sharing our voice. You know. Okay, I'm getting off topic. So don't be afraid to speak to doubt out loud. Like tell that doubt you gotta go. Okay. Oh, you're not qualified. Oh yeah, I may not be qualified, but I'm gonna still do it. You telling me this, but I'm gonna still do it. Like you don't be afraid to talk to that doubt out loud. Use the power of your voice even towards that doubt. So let it know you're not going down without a fight. I'm still gonna keep going. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but at the end of the day, don't let doubt keep you stagnant. Okay, let them know you ain't going down without a fight, and it can make all the noise it wants, but you're gonna keep it moving because that's what we do. We keep it pushing, right? All right. So I'm gonna be positioned. So tell that doubt you might feel like you're right, but I'm staying where God called me to be. I'm gonna stick this through. I'm gonna stay positioned until I know I'm supposed to move. You know what I mean? Like don't run before you know you're supposed to move. Stop running from it and start running towards it. Go for it head on, you know? Okay. So I did my story a little bit earlier. I started talking about my story after this part. I'm sorry, guys. I'm literally all over the place. Don't let it make you quit before the finish line. Don't let doubt make you quit before the finish line, guys. Because sometimes like you ever like I don't know, there's like a story in Think and Grow Rich. Like there was a guy like they were digging for like they bought this whole I think there was like supposed to be gold in this area, and they were digging. They was digging forever, and they ain't find nothing. So they was giving up, and they sold it to this farmer, the land to this farmer, and the farmer just was like he just left off from where they started. I mean, he started from where they left off, like not even think anything of it. One little dig up. Gold right there. Gold right there. They were at the finish line and they gave up. Like, please do not give up before the finish line, guys. Tell doubt that they can't have you. Doubt you can't stay here, and doubt you got to go. Okay? You gotta go. Deuces. Okay. Because because you are the only one for the job and no one else could do it but you. Okay, like we all have our own purpose, our own destiny, and nobody can do it but you. Nobody can take care of your family but you, or whatever it is that your why is. Nobody can do it but you. Nobody can do it for you. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. So what I want to say is, I'm trying to read what I'm saying, what I wrote. Sorry, guys. But I'm basically saying we won't see transformation until we overcome doubt. We won't see any breakthroughs until we overcome doubt. So don't let doubt stray you away from your purpose. Because we all have one, and doubt can really lead you astray from that and stop you in your tracks and make you give up on that. Wow, I have so much in here, guys. I feel like I might have to have a whole part 2 of this because I don't know how much time I technically have. And I'm like scrolling, I'm like, dang, I have a lot of notes in here. I'm sorry. But it's time for us to really come and step into our power, step out of the land of discomfort, step out of the land of disbelief. It's time for us to really step up and become and bring that doubt with us, even if we need to. Still show up. Even if that doubt is low-key there, show up. I still feel low-key doubts, but I'm here talking to you guys, right? God has a plan for those doubts. Like, there's a plan for all of that. Like, oh, sorry. He has a plan. Sorry, he has a plan for you when you step out on faith, despite all the doubts that you have, basically. When you overcome, God's finished. Oh, so when you overcome that doubt, and when God is finished, it was finished with you and helping you through that, there's going to be no doubt because you're going to have such strong conviction, knowing that he is there and that you can overcome anything. So that makes your faith even stronger. So it would be harder for doubt to try to creep into your mind when you reach that level. Basically, it's saying like the weapons that was formed against you did not prosper because he's with you. You know what I mean? And you have that conviction. If you don't have conviction, you might feel like he's not with you, or you might feel like he's not there because you don't have that true faith or belief in it. You know what I mean? It will have you walking away unharmed and unaffected. I felt that because I definitely have a lot of testimonies on that. It's another story for another day, but it's very true. Like, I shouldn't even be here right now with all the stuff that I've gone through. I'm still working on sharing my full-on story, but you know, it's definitely the true thing. It's the true thing. Let us let doubt know that it cannot dictate. Okay, so let us let doubt know that it cannot dictate who we are and who we're going to be. Okay, so let doubt know it's gonna have to take a seat in the audience while you out here impacting people. You know, doubt telling you can't do this, you can't do that. Doubt gonna have to take a back seat. You still gonna show up and give that message if that's what it is that you want to do. Well, we're here building and blah blah blah. Sorry. What 3 weapons? Okay, so here's a few tangibles, but it's kind of long. So she was talking about 3 weapons to wrestle with doubt. 3 weapons to wrestle with the doubt that's connected to our call. Let us not worry about what we are going to say, but focus on what we have came here to do. Okay, so that's another thing for me. Like, I was always like second guessing myself about even talking. So I'm like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna talk about? But it's not. Don't even worry about that. Just worry about showing up and doing. Just being like, I feel like when you show up, the help is gonna come. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's gonna flow through you. And like, if it's in your heart, that's what you want to do. So you don't have to worry about all the technical difficulties, or like, oh, I don't know, like, I want to start podcasts. My experience is, I don't know anything about the podcast industry, blah, blah. Girl, you don't need to know about anything to open your mouth and start talking, right? So like, that's just like, for me, our greatest ability to hush naysayers and non-believers in us has nothing to do with what we say back to them, but everything to do with what we act on as it relates to the plan on our life. So it doesn't have nothing to do with what we say, but how we act on it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know if that sounds weird. I can try to explain it another way. Okay. Sorry, guys. The weapon for doubt is already in our hands. So if you want to silence doubt, act on it. Be about that action. You can't silence doubt without action. And we need to know that, like, the weapon for doubt is already in us. It's already down inside of us. We already have those gifts. We picked it up all along the way. You know, all those experiences, the knowledge, all those skills, that's useful. And okay. Oh, so all those experiences may have useful or may be the things that made our hearts hard, like toxic relationships or different experiences. Like, everything is something like a learning experience. So what are we doing with all those learning experiences? Like, everything we learned from that, everything we picked up along the way, how are we utilizing that? Sometimes we think that the things we picked up along the way is what exactly that brought the doubt. We may be embarrassed about the things that we picked up all the way. We might be embarrassed that we stayed in like abusive relationship for so long, or whatever the case may be. But that made you stronger, and you left it, you overcame it. Like, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. But when you experience those things, you know, it's still, those very things can be used to help you in your future along your path. God can take all those things, the universe or whatever, I'm sorry, I'm so weird. He can use that to help you. And so when you take, this hair is like, my hair is sticking to the chair, sorry. When you take what you picked up along the way and throw it at something, you will see the power connected to what it is that you picked up. Does that make sense, guys? So like, saying along the way, like, all those skills and things that you learn when you come up to a situation where what you learn is helping you get through that because you went through it in another experience. You know what I mean? Monique, definitely let me know if I'm going over because, girl. All right. So sometimes we'll be shocked at when we throw something that we picked up along the way at what God gave us into the direction of, okay, you'll be shocked at what happens when you throw what God gave you into the direction of what he's doing because it's going to be so much in alignment. Thank you. Okay, maybe here. I wish I rewrote my notes so I can like give you guys the main message of the end of what I'm saying. But the weapon for your doubt is in the experiences that you picked up. When you use those experiences instead of hoarding them, those are lessons that, like if you hoard, okay, so when you use those experiences, don't hoard them, okay? Don't keep those lessons and those experiences tucked down inside of you, thinking that they have no value or they hold no weight. That's like turning your pain into purpose because when you switch it around, it can help so many other people too as well. What you picked up along the way can really help you silence those doubts because you overcome so much. If you sit back and look at all that you come through or gone through and where you are now and look back, you know, you can cut that doubt out. Like, I did it before, I could do it again. You know what I mean? Okay. The weapon against doubt is already within us. It's already in our hands. We are holding it, but we are it. We are that weapon. Like I said, we are so powerful, guys. We can totally do this. I'm trying to like, okay. Wow, I have so much notes, guys. Okay, let me just scroll down to the end because oh my goodness. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Bear with me. I kind of want to leave you guys with like the most important thing. All right, so when you want, okay. All right. Okay. If we don't learn to come out of the place of doubt, we will begin to think we need trauma in order to progress instead of recognizing that the trauma just broke the seal of the power down inside of us. You won't get it until you go. Like you won't get it until you go. You won't get that power until you go, till you do it. So like if your thing is like I'm scared to talk on calls, you won't get that power down inside of you that's supposed to be extracted if you don't start doing it. You got to have that action. Step into it wholeheartedly in faith, and the help will be there. Doubt will not have the final say. Sometimes there's always provisions that God or the universe sends ahead of you already to help you fight through the doubt when you get there. So have that faith. If we finally muster up the courage to trust what's in our hands or what's inside of us, he will solve that problem. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here. He will stop the opportunity of doubt, but you still will stay close to God. Okay. Well, let's muster up the courage to trust what's down on the inside of us to just fight through those doubts. Let us practice living our lives in a way that we can trust the movement of the journey of the path that we are on and called to be on. There may be new doubts that come up along the way or arise depending on the landscape that's in front of us. But if we keep our minds strong and keep our hearts set on the belief and that conviction, the doubt can't scare us. It won't be as strong anymore. Okay. So when we throw things that God has given us in the direction of what he's doing in our life, there is no doubt that he is with us. Ask ourselves, how are we using these experiences? How are we using the talents that we have that he's given us? How are we using those lessons learned along the way? I'm certain there's so many people that could benefit from it as long as we share our story, share our experiences. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, sorry, I said blah, 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 guys. I'm at the end, but we have gone through and learned predictable. So let our identity and trust who we are. Let our own identity. Okay. I'm not sure what that's saying, but let's, control our own identity and trust who we are. And when we do that, it's a weapon too. We can use that as a weapon too, because we trust who we are. Nobody can break us down. No doubt can stop us from anything. That's a weapon that you can use to keep you going. When you feel like you don't have what it takes, or okay, when you feel like you don't have what it takes, it's because we didn't have what it took before. I don't know if that makes sense. Sometimes we feel we don't have what it takes because we didn't have what it took before. That's what I was trying to say. But leave the past in the past. It's a new day. You know, you have the choice. We all have the power of decision. It takes belief. It takes the belief. Do you believe in yourself? You have to believe that if you stay connected to your truth, you can wrestle and you can win. Okay, that's the end. I'm sorry that was so long, guys. I appreciate everybody that stayed till the end.
It was so good. What do you mean so long? I love, first of all, we need that. What was it? A podcast, the sermon. I need the link. Okay.
It was, I think it was on her Woman Evolved, but I wasn't on a podcast. So I don't have a podcast app. But if you just type in YouTube, Wrestling Doubt with Sarah Jakes Roberts, it'll be there. Their YouTube is called One House. I think that's the name of their church. That's the channel I'm subscribed to. So a lot of times when I just hop on to YouTube, like my main screen, I'll be seeing a different message. And it's crazy because a lot of times that one message that popped up is something I definitely needed to hear or something I've been going through that I didn't even ask, you know, or I didn't pray about. And it was like, dang, he be listening, he be knowing. And now I just be tearing up. Like, I love her so much because she speaks in a way that reaches like our hearts. And she like talks just like us, like, girl, like, period, like all that stuff. Like she talks in a way that's so relatable and so understandable where you like, I never felt like I understood like the Bible or like how it's written and things like that. But she put things in such a perspective in real life terms that it's just so easy to understand what's going on in your life and gives you so much perspective. But yeah, it's called Wrestling Doubt by Sarah Jakes Roberts.
But I've never listened to her. I definitely need to go listen to her.
No, I love her. She has a very powerful voice.
This message was super powerful. I love you. Thank you so much. I don't know if anybody has anything to say. Open the floor, of course, like we always do. It does not matter the time. Who needs to hop off can hop off. But if you have anything to say, go ahead and unmute yourself. Again, like I always like to say, this is a safe place. Sarah, hold on, love you. Go ahead,
you're welcome, Trish.
I'm sorry, baby. Cherie, I loved everything that you said. Monique, Sarah Jake Roberts, you got to get on. You're going to get addicted to her. Whatever, the first thing you hear about her, go to whatever. Don't even go to what Cherie's telling you about. Just click on anything and you will fall in love with her words. Her and her husband, Teray, he's amazing. They're both pastors and they had their first kid when she was 13. She was 13 years old when she had her first kid. And she looked at things like she was ready for suicidal. She was ready for a lot of things that a lot of young moms go through. And her father is a pastor and he brought her through. Her father's probably like her best friend. And I would seriously recommend any woman who is going through any demon mentally, whether it's stress, depression, orange juice, anxiety, whatever it is, go to Sarah Jake Roberts because she's going to talk you through it and she's going to make you look at it in a biblical aspect as to like why you're going through this right now instead of you sitting there stressing over what you're going through. Like if you're too good to go through that because ain't nobody too good to go through nothing. You're going through that for a reason. So Cherie, all that talking you were doing, you could keep going because I mean, I liked it all. And I just wanted to throw that in there about Sarah Jake Roberts. Like, you guys should seriously get on Sarah Jake Roberts. She's the ish on top of the ish. And that is that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you. That means a lot. And that's so true because she did start off as a teen mom. Everything was all against her. She even had an addiction too as well. And she even laughed at the fact that God put it in her heart to be a pastor. She was like, I can do. She almost ran from it. And then her husband, and when she met him, he's a pastor too. And she almost like ran from that too. Cause she was like, I don't know if I could be holy like that all of 24/7 to be a pastor's wife. You know what I mean? But she has so much stacked up against her. She literally could have threw it in a towel, but look at where she is. She's impacting so many women. She's using her voice, so many lives, just so many people in general. Like, I was just so grateful to find her because she talked me through so much. Just like you said, Sarah, like literally, she talked me through a lot. So she has a new thing called Woman Evolved too. Like it's like a new podcast for like after you get to that place where you are called to be or whatever that goal you've reached, how to maintain it biblically and mentally and just, navigating through whatever. But thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, it's so funny because when you were talking, I kept listening in my head. I kept hearing that song when we were kids, that can't go over it, can't go under it, got to go through it. And it's so true because that's how life is, right? Like we can't go around it. We can't jump over it. We got to go through it. And that's just how we got to see it every single time. Like, and I know it's silly sometimes, like the whole like rubber and glue thing, like when you think of childish notions, but really and truly, like those are the things that help kids not be fearful. Those are the things that got kids through bullying and stuff like that. So we got to go back to those little things that we remember in the time of doubt, that we're like, listen, I can't go around it. I can't go over. I got to go through it. Right. And like, if you tell yourself in the moment that you're going through that, first of all, it's going to change your attitude and your mood, because now you're thinking little, like a little kid and you're feeling all bubbly and stuff. Right. But then at the same time, you're realizing that, wow, that's true. I have to just go through it. If I want to see the other side, I got to get there. I can be scared and stay here. And then guess what? If I'm in the middle of the woods, the bear gonna come after me. It's either I go or I don't, right? You have a choice, yes. But come on now, let's make the right choices for our lives, because we know that God is with us. We know that we have the power. That's just what it is. It's within. We just have to unleash it however we see fit for our lives, for our circumstances, but we cannot allow our circumstances to knock us down. And we definitely can't let doubt come creep up on us. It's going to creep up on us, but we can't let it overtake us, okay? Because it's going to come. It's going to come. It's inevitable, just like pain, it's going to come. But it's what we do with it, okay? And understand, like I always say, that your pain is your purpose. And if you don't zone into that, you're just going to allow your pain to just be your destiny. And that is not what God intended for your life. So with that being said, guys, it is Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend. Understand that your week does not end here. Keep going for what it is that you're going for, whether you're in business or personal, whatever it is. Put yourself first so that you can be of an asset to other people in this world. Okay, guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will see you guys on Monday, same place, same time. Cherie, thank you again.